Welcome to the Visa Everywhere Initiative 2024 Global Finals live from San Francisco, California. Today's participants represent the top startups recruited across the world. These finalists will compete to win up to $120,000 in total prizes. It's time to kick off the Visa Everywhere Initiative Global Finals 2024. Here is your host, Dolores Terry, Business Development Executive for Visa North America and Global Digital Partnerships.
Well, hello, everyone. Okay, my name is Dolores Terry, and I have the esteemed pleasure of serving as your host of the 2024 Visa Everywhere Initiative Global Finals. We're thrilled to welcome you here today in San Francisco, and for those of you tuning in at home, thanks for joining us. I have to say, I'm quite impressed by the crowd here. I know it's a long conference. This is probably one of the last sessions of the day. I think it's time for us to be honest that conferences are tiring. So, very happy to have you guys here. I promise we will not disappoint, as we have some of the most impressive startups for today's competition that are transforming the future of payments. However, if this is your first Visa Everywhere Initiative with us today, I have a little context to provide. The Visa Everywhere Initiative is a year-long global competition where thousands of startups from across the globe apply to compete locally for prizes, partnership opportunities, but ultimately the chance to compete on today's stage. Our finalists hail from our 5 different regions: Asia Pacific, Central Europe, Middle East and Africa, Europe, Latin America, and North America. So with that, enough of the context, it's time for me to welcome our esteemed judges. First up, we'll have Hassan Kazmi, head of Visa Ventures, Fintech, and Digital Partners of Visa SEMEA. Come on out, Hassan. Next, we have Bianca Caban, Vice President of HSBC Innovation Banking. Next, we have Rodney Williams, who's actually a veteran of the competition and co-founder of Solo Funds. Then we have Talia Baruch, founder of Global Sake and Locklearn. And we have John Jones, Vice President and Head of Global Startups at AWS. And rounding out our judging panel, he's a ball of energy and also no stranger to being a judge here at this competition, Rodrigo Barros de Paula, Head of Fintech's Digital Partners and Visa Ventures for Visa Latin America. Now, on to the stars of today's show. The startups. First up, we'll have Rashid Haddadin of GamerG. Then we'll have Jorgen Freeman of Waya Finance and Technology, Jaime Roldan of Quqo, Elo Pasos of Trexx, and Jake Vukovic of FlyCode. Now, please give another round of applause to our judges and our finalists. On to how today will work. Each of our finalists have 4 minutes to pitch, followed by 4 minutes of Q&A with our amazing judges. And each of our startups will be judged on the following criteria: solution and pitch presentation, Visa partnership opportunities, desirability and uniqueness, and feasibility of product and solution. After all of the startups have pitched, a few things are gonna happen. Number 1, our judges are gonna go deliberate privately to pick an overall winner, and our overall winner will be awarded $100,000. The second thing that will happen is I'm actually putting you, the audience, to work, so you absolutely cannot leave, but you'll get to vote for the audience favorite, in which they will win $20,000. Later in the show, while the judges are deliberating, we'll have a keynote from the amazing Jen Walter, who's actually the first female NFL coach and now a renowned motivational speaker. Now, before we dive into the pitches, it's time to take a moment to showcase some inspiring success stories of the Visa Everywhere Initiative winners.
Since 2015, thousands of startups have applied to the Visa Everywhere Initiative. Today, we want to highlight some of the most successful stories that showcase the power of innovation, collaboration, and entrepreneurship. Rodney Williams was the first Visa Everywhere Initiative winner in 2015 with Listener. After that, Rodney had several interactions with Visa. He joined the Fast Track program and received investments for his company. Then he created his second company, applied again to the Visa Everywhere Initiative and won. Now Rodney returns as a judge at this year's Global Finals at Disrupt, bringing his expertise full circle. After winning the 2021 North America edition and the 2022 Global edition, Wade Arnold of Move Financial entered Visa's Fast Track program. With a Visa investment in 2023 that fueled their Series B, Wade joined our global judging panel in Qatar and shared insights at a fireside chat at our 2023 Global Finals at TechCrunch Disrupt. In 2022, Ayo Arikawa from Thrive Agric won the Central Europe, Middle East, and Africa Visa Everywhere Initiative Regional Finals, then went on to claim victory at the Global Finals in Qatar. In 2023, he was a judge at Disrupt for the Global Finals, and now Thrive Agric and Visa are collaborating on a transformative project to support farmers in Kenya. Nick Grassi of Finario Connect took home the 2021 VEI Latin America crown and placed second at the Global Finals. In 2023, Finario Connect raised $6.5 million, with Visa as one of the key investors, pushing the company to new heights. Let's now take a moment to celebrate our new 5 global finalists of the Visa Everywhere Initiative 2024 as they join us live from the Fintech stage at TechCrunch Disrupt.
Such an amazing video. I have to say, this is actually my side gig hosting. I actually work at Visa in FinTech business development. And so this video, I can say, truly speaks to the work that we put into our jobs over in the FinTech BD world. And also, I'm glad Rodney isn't sick of Visa just yet, as he's here today. All right, before I bring out our first finalist, I do want to say it is very hard for companies to get on this stage and pitch their life's work. And so with that, I have a few more rules for this room. I need high energy, big smiles, loud, obnoxious applause as these startups are getting out here, okay? Because I have to say, I don't think I could do it. So therefore, please, let's hype them up as much as we can. Yeah. Awesome. So with that, you've heard enough of me. I'm very excited to introduce our first finalist. Let's welcome Rashid Hadan in GamerG, a skill-based gaming platform with prizes every day. Please welcome Hassan.
Hi, I'm Rashid, co-founder of GamerG, the first competitive gaming platform in the Middle East and Africa. We have been passionate about gaming since childhood, and we have been gaming for more than 20 years. Gaming is becoming more popular year over year, with more than 3 billion gamers worldwide, where 99% of them are actually casual gamers. Today, gaming market size is bigger than the film and music industries combined, and it's just getting started. So for example, Saudi Arabia alone is investing 40 billion to become a video game hub. Microsoft makes the history with the largest acquisition in tech, and it was in gaming. Gamescom, the largest gaming expo in Europe, is getting bigger year over year. So of course, as a casual gamer, we are 99% of any player base. We encountered some challenges joining tournaments, such as we had to book a spot in advance, and the opponents we faced were randomly allocated, resulting in unfair and unbalanced tournaments. That's why we created GamerG, a skill-based matchmaking tournament platform. All you have to do is just sign up, then connect your game account, like League of Legends or Fortnite, for skill level detection and automated tracking. Then players can join a tournament where they will be matched with other 10 players of a similar skill level. All players can see their scores updated in real time on their live scoreboards. Players must deposit cash that will be basically converted into gems. Gems are digital currency that will be used to participate in further tournaments. After competing and winning, players can withdraw their prizes or join more tournaments. And to manage our cash flows and risks, we have placed limits on when and how withdrawals occur. Today, GamerG charges 30% as a participation fee. We are planning as well on diversifying our revenue streams by adding subscription, processing fees, short-term and overnight deposits, FX spread revenue, and sponsorships. Since our launch in December 2023, with minimal marketing spent, we have managed to run more than 7,500 tournaments with more than 350,000 game sessions and with an average duration of 1 hour per tournament. We have successfully integrated with the biggest games on the planet, played by more than 400 million people around the globe each month. Since gaming is a pure digital activity and payments is at the core and center of our business, we are confident that Visa makes the perfect partner for GamerG, and we could collaborate on 3 key opportunities that unlocks value and enhances the experience for gamers. First of all, Visa Direct can solve the challenge of cross-border micro payouts due to the high cost of wire transfer and country-limited digital wallets. GamerG users can get exclusive benefits by obtaining a Visa card, and let's not forget it's a payout method as well. Visa token services, as finally, can prevent fraud and theft, and most importantly, simplifying our purchasing experience. We have built GamerG with a global vision. We see GamerG used by everyone around the globe, and with the network of Visa, we could achieve that. Come play with us. Thank you.
Amazing job.
Thank you.
What a way to kick us off. And you came in under time. That's impressive.
Thank you.
Very, very impressive.
Thanks a lot.
All right, so we'll have our first round of Q&A. So Hassan, I'll let you go first and kick us off.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Rashid. So question for you. I know the platform is primarily skill-based, but based on the gamers that are using your platform, are there other features that have really attracted more users onto the platform?
So if I got the question right, you mean what are the features that got more users into the platform?
Yes, so other than the skills-based part of the platform that groups players by skills, are there other features that you found give you a competitive advantage compared to other platforms like this?
Yeah, sure. So one of the other most very important advantage, which is now we're upgrading, is the social interaction between players. So we're enhancing our platform to have a social engagement and a community feeling on the platform itself, and not go to a third-party solution. Other value proposition is the anti-cheating system that we're upgrading, which makes the games more fair, beside the skill-based matchmaking.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bianca, I'll just go down the line. Have you go next.
Sure, thank you so much. So kind of along those lines, I was wondering a little bit more about how you're thinking about your customer acquisition strategy. So it seems like there's a lot of engagement as it relates to number of games being played, but in terms of how you're thinking about kind of customer acquisition, retention, and then kind of key factor, how your customers are kind of recommending their friends and referrals, what's your strategy around that?
Yeah, sure, great. So for us, customer acquisition wasn't the hardest because, as we said, the players are everywhere. The thing is that the more we add games, as example, that there's a less chance that there will be a churn on the Connect game account screen. Okay, so that's the first thing. The other that we have a GamerG partner program, which is an affiliate program where they can invite other players and get rewarded for these invitations. And we've experimenting with giving milestones and achievements for following the track of this program. And that's how we're acquiring, beside the traditional way of social media and so on.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Can you walk me through the competitive landscape?
Can we go through competitive advantage?
Landscape.
Oh,
so the competitive landscape. Okay, yeah, sure. So there are a lot of companies doing traditional tournaments where they have it needs a lot of time for organization and to run a tournament, which we do not consider them our competitors, and which do a pro player competitors, we don't also consider them. So there are few companies in different regions, but what gives us the value, most important value, that we have good integrations with the payments in our region, in the Middle East and Africa, so we can pay out people. So if company is operating in the United States, as example, they have, let's say, PayPal or this kind of options. This is not accessible in most of the regions where we operate. So it's by region?
Right now,
besides, like there is like Z League and Repeat.gg, which was acquired by Sony. This is another company that's also running tournament. So those are the main competitors.
So hi, Rashid. Great job. Follow up on that. So what is the specific problem you're solving for your users in the real-time, in-game performance tracking? In the live tournament.
So the most important thing is logistics. So nobody has to move. Everybody can play online. The second thing is that you can play on your convenience. You don't have to all come at the same time, which was the biggest problem. Like you have to get 10 people at the same time. It's not a qualifier tournament. It's a performance. So as example, who gets the most kills, scores, then he's going to get scored. And this is the way how we win. The anti-cheat, the fairness of the system, and the skill-based matchmaking. Also, the payout and the payment infrastructure we're providing.
Okay, we have time for another one?
Just one more.
Okay. I love a good pitch competition. Congratulations on being here. I think the teams were selected from over 120 countries, so really big accomplishment. You've been in production for almost a year. What's some of the user feedback that you've gotten that has changed your strategy or informed how you're building your product roadmap?
Yeah, so I can give like one example. So at the beginning, one of the most like things that we were thinking about is like the network effect. You know, like you have a number of tournaments and you need a number of people and to match them with each other. So when you have these extra users and they get cancelled, as example, what should we do because they don't have someone to match with? So we have enhanced like our algorithms to like become more instant, how to schedule, like those kind of things that will enhance the experience without the customer like knowing exactly. Like the algorithms are really helping.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
that
very
wraps
much.
up our first
Thank
round of Q&A. All right, please welcome our second startup, Jürgen Friedman of Waya Finance Technology, a digital end-to-end solution that boosts the future of invoice finance. Go.
Friedman. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Waya Finance Technology. And Waya is, can you go back? So thank you once again. Let's take it from the beginning. Waya is transforming a 100-year industry and helping businesses grow by boosting their liquidity using our invoice management platform. And the reason why Niklas, Simon, and I started Waya from the beginning is that it's a hard time if you don't have liquidity in the company growing. And I bet that many of you guys here at TechCrunch have had this feeling starting your company. And the reality right now is that it takes 74 days to get paid in an average in Europe for an invoice. And that to a cost of 275 billion euros for late payments. And 25% of all bankruptcies are now due to late payment. So what is the solution for this then? The solution is Waya 360. It's a cloud-based end-to-end invoice management platform. And this is how the magic works. Waya 360 connects the business owners with the end customer and automates the complete order-to-cash process. In other words, we help the business owners to get paid faster. In this example here, we have the end customer, Jane here, orders business orders from our business owners, Ola here. And the process starts with Waya Connect that fetches and validates the invoice data from the ERP system at Ola's base. And the invoice and AR module then automates the entire invoice lifecycle process from invoicing, reminders, and debt collection if necessary. And Waya then distributes invoice digitally, providing a data-driven and eco-friendly solutions for all parties. And finally, Waya Pay provides easy and fast payment experience for the end customer, Jane, and Waya then transfer as a payout to the business owners from Waya's account and automate the invoicing and the bookkeeping as well. So, what happens now is I connect banks into invoice system as well, and we provide an invoice and AR functionality to the business owner to boost their liquidity. And we also support the underwriting process for the banks as well. And up next is that we provide an AP card financing and early pay for the end customer as well, and boost their liquidity too. But let's go back to Ola here and see the result of Waya 360. Ola Gunnarsson is the CEO of Aspia, the leading accounting firms in the Nordic, starting out with Waya 2018 with 62 payment days. And by 2023, we had decreased that to 22 days, strengthened their working capital by 20 million euros annually, while they're growing in revenue. But we want to improve this even further in cooperation with Visa. And we see 3 opportunities for this. Visa virtual card payments that incorporate virtual cards into Waya 360, such as Click to Pay. And Visa Business-to-Business Collect streamline international payments with faster transactions. And Visa Business PSPP, card financing and early pay functionality for the end customer. So, these Waya services are more essential now than ever. And we have helped over 7,000 business owners and end customers, and now managing over 3 billion euros in working capital. We have signed 3 major banks and now targeting 500 more banks across Europe to help them grow our business owners even more. So now let's join forces and, I quote, being the best way to pay and to be paid. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jorgen. Here, I'm going to stand on this side of you.
Yep.
I'll stand on this side. Awesome. All right, this time around, we'll kick it off with Rodrigo.
Congratulations, man. Can you guys hear me? Yeah? Can you hear me? No?
No.
Yeah, it seems it's...
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, okay, there you go. So congratulations for your presentation. Awesome. So you mentioned a couple of numbers here, 7,000 merchants today and the 3 billion in volume, right? So, but how does it work with the integration, really? So is it directly one by one with the merchants that you're doing, with the business owners, or you're leveraging some sort of aggregate?
Yeah, we are actually integrated into the business owner's ERP system, and we have different integrations for that. And especially when it comes to SMB segments, they are no-touch integrations. So there is a half an hour integration for that one. So that is quite quick, especially for the bank clients that we use. So we're migrating their clients over to us, and we can do that fast integration going forward. If you have a lot of customers, as SAP customers, they use our open API to do that, so they can integrate within a week.
Okay, but you're going through the banks, or you're going straight to the business owner?
We do both. So we have our own sales for enterprise, but our main focus is now to go to the banks, and they migrate their customer over to us, because we orchestrate the invoice volume for them so they can focus on the financing part.
Hassan, over back to you.
Yes. So you mentioned that you're working with about 500 EU banks. Now, given the passporting requirements, it's fairly easy to expand within Europe, but have you thought about expanding potentially outside of Europe, or is that not on the table for now?
Yeah, I would say that this is the start for that journey, and we focus on the Nordics and get hold of that one, and now we're focusing on going there from Europe, because that is a regulatory the same aspect to it. So, but this is the place for going forward. So in 2026, we're heading that journey, I would say, going to US.
And just a quick follow-up. So you mentioned that it's about 275 billion in costs due to late payments. Do you have a sense of how many companies you could reach through these 500 bank integrations?
I would say that we have now these 500 banks that we are approaching. I would say that there are approximately 40,000 clients per bank that we can address for that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Bianca?
Yeah, so thank you so much for your presentation. I was actually thinking about expansion and wondering a little bit more about how you think about differentiation as you're moving into new markets and you're encountering solutions that are similar to yours, targeting maybe the same clientele, leveraging AI, et cetera. How do you think about how you differentiate with current solutions in the markets that you're in?
Yeah, thank you. It's a very great question. I think the main difference between us and other competitors is that we have one platform for this. So we can actually do this in a proactive way, validating the information instead of doing it a reactive way that our competitors are doing. And by that, you get end-to-end. So, and that's what you see in the numbers for Aspia, going from 62 to 22 days. You can't do that with old platforms and different vendors for that entire flow.
Thank Thank you.
And Rodney, if you have a quick question, we have room for one more.
My last question. Talk to me about retention. Obviously, you're selling B2B, mostly into the banks, leveraging their customer base. But what's been the customer feedback?
Yeah, the retention are good, and we have a churn for less 5%, I would say. And you see the result of Aspia, and when we are doing the working capital work for them, they want to keep that. So that is our main focus, to retain the customers and make them happy. So it's a good customer success work behind that to do that. But in the end of the day, delivers working capital for them. That's crucial.
Awesome. Big round of applause for Waya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jorgen. All right, our next startup, please welcome Jaime Roldan of Quqo, digitizing traditional distribution channels in Southeast Asia.
Hello, everyone. Very excited to be here. I'm Jaime Roldan, CEO and founder with 17 years of experience doing startups. And today, I'm here to present our latest venture and our partnership with Visa, a collaboration that is meant to change the way that millions of small businesses work across Southeast Asia. So let me paint you a picture. There are millions of retailers, like Nhi right here. Nhi is an independent pharmacy owner in Vietnam. She struggles without systems. Everything is manual. She meets several sales reps a day, which are offering the same products at different prices. And she's struggling with cash transactions every day. So at Quqo, we have built an eB2B marketplace for users to browse products in one single catalog, to track orders, and most importantly, to pay digitally. We're also integrating all of these ecosystems into suppliers' ERPs. We're tracking the payment flow from start to finish. We're automating all the reconciliations, and we're lowering the operational business risks. And this is where Visa comes in. We're doing digital payments at scale. We're also integrating Visa credit solutions, but not only to give credits to these users. We're also using their data to give them better financial tools. This partnership gives access to Visa to an underserved segment of business owners that process millions of B2B high-frequency recurring transactions. And we're not done yet. We have brought our entire ecosystem into messenger apps. This has been very disruptive. Imagine browsing for promotions, placing orders with one click, and getting order status, everything in messenger apps, without going anywhere else. Our business model is simple. We charge a percentage of the transaction in every thing that comes into our marketplace, and we have a whole set of software as a service solutions for suppliers that we charge on a monthly licensing fee. Our growth has been outstanding for the last year. Yeah, we have experienced 25% growth in revenue, quarter over quarter, 12% growth in GMV, and 6% growth in active customers. We're present in 3 different verticals: healthcare with independent pharmacies, FMCG with general trade stores, and in the auto industry in motor shops. We have presence in Thailand and in Vietnam with around 45,000 stores, and we have recently closed a very interesting partnership with DKSH that is helping us grow further. So Quqo and Visa is not just about a payment integration. This is about economic growth, financial inclusion. It's building the infrastructure for these stores to have tools, capital, and connectivity for them to succeed. So the mission is simple. We are empowering 8 million micro SMEs to be the backbone of local communities and to promote growth. Thank you very much.
Amazing job, Jaime. Sorry, I feel like I'm scaring everybody coming from the shadows like this. All right, we'll start off with Talia with questions.
Okay, good job. So you're optimizing for the hyper growth opportunity in Southeast Asia markets. What is is Southeast Asia your early or late adoption market, and what is your competitive edge within the competitive landscape in these different markets within Southeast Asia?
Well, I come from Latin America. We have the similar situations in countries like Colombia, Mexico, and we can say that Southeast Asia has huge potential growth. Yeah, we chose Vietnam because it's a population that is 32 years old in average age. It's a territory of 340,000 square kilometers. It's flat. Yeah, we have access to 100 million people. Yeah, and there are 1.4 million stores. Yeah, so general trade is very important. And that's what we want to do. We wanted to empower them. And this is the same situation in the Philippines, Indonesia, yeah, somehow Malaysia. Yeah, so Cambodia, Laos. So our goal is to expand in the whole region and to bring our tools for these stores to be more competitive.
Awesome. John, I'll have you go next.
Okay, great. So you did a really good job on the customer journey. You articulated your buyer persona very well. I really enjoyed the problem statement. When you got to some of the growth slides, I was surprised that quarter-over-quarter active customer growth maybe was only 6%. How do you accelerate that? Is it? By the way, I like the local language images that you used too. That was really powerful. How do you get your growth higher? Is it expanding to other markets, or is it growth within those initial markets?
Okay, so at the beginning, we did our job ourselves to actually recruit these stores. But then we found that the solution is to work with the large distributors and the big anchor clients. Yeah, so our strategy right now is actually to work hand in hand with them. Yeah, we have understood everything that happens inside the organization, and that's why we're integrating everything to ERPs like SAP, for example, SAP. Yeah, and I think from here on, our growth lies within these anchor customers. They're the ones that are going to leverage us to be able to grow much faster. Yeah, 6% growth could not be that much, but trust me, we have done a pretty good job for these anchors to open the doors to different markets, and that's how we're going to scale from now on. And the other thing is that messenger apps are being disruptive. You know, this marketplace, for example, it has an adoption of 16% after 5-6 months of operations. Our business tools inside messenger apps, they have a conversion of 90%. Yeah, because this is where actually the ordering is taking place right now. So this is something new. We just started very recently, but we're going to foresee that there's a big growth coming from messenger apps now.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And Rodrigo, you probably have our last question.
No, yeah, I think my question, I think I'm always the one that is not listening. Okay, now you guys can listen to me. No, yeah, I think my question was related. I think it's clear now. So you connect with the main distributors, right?
Yes.
So and how it's been the conversation with them, in a sense. So what it's really bringing the value when you go and talk with them and allow you to have access to the inventory and connect with the merchants.
Look, all of these people, all of these big distributors, let's say, they're all in need of digitization at this very moment, you know? And there's something that happens. There's like a trifecta here, yeah? They have their SAP, their big system. They have their sales representatives with a software automation tool. And they have third-party distributors operating separately with a DMS system. And they acquire them independently. And it's a huge cost for them. Okay. Yeah? What we're doing is we're giving them all, the three things. Yeah? So we're telling them, we give you the integration with your SAP. We give your sales reps the tool for them to actually place orders. And we give your distributors our distributor management system for them to operate. And everything's fully integrated. Yeah, that's actually taking them probably 2 years, and it's 20% or 15% of the cost. So that's our pitch to large anchors.
Thank you.
Awesome. Another big round of applause for Jaime and Quqo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jaime.
All right, our fourth startup is Elo Pasos of Trexx, facilitating access to credit through games for Gen Z and unbanked populations.
Good evening. My name is Eloisa. I'm founder and CEO of Trexx. We provide financial access to unbanked and Gen Z. Today I want to tell you a real history, Noah's history, passionate about games, his friends, and real changes in the world. However, Noah lives the reality of emergent economy. The lack of opportunities and our economic scenarios generate some uncertainties about the future. For example, 46% of young people in Brazil begin their adult lives in habit. This is representing 90 million people. Noah lives this reality and he needs look extra income. But what can he do? Play games. And I know it's not a usual answer. But just like Noah, we have 150 other million people in Brazil that are passionate about games and spend a lot of money in this market and time. Looking for new game experiences and extra income, people come to Trexx. It's always starts when Noah discovered a gaming publisher loyalty program that used Trexx technology. He created the account, and in the same instant, the platform created a digital wallet for him. He performed missions, earned points, and hidden rewards. The publisher can use Trexx IP or a white label for a fixed amount. Publisher retain and save monies in market campaign and acquire users. After Noah interacted with the basic content, he increases your digital wallets and your portfolio. He can sell or rent items for other players and use this money in real world. Trexx analyzes all data that we have in the platform and provides this data to banks and fintechs that need this intelligence of in-game and on-chain behavior. Trexx and publishers earn on subscriptions and the fee of the transactions. After all, Noah is able to use some assets as collateral for microloans in the platform. Noah, banks, and publishers, different problems with the same solution. In the last 4 months, we closed 3 deals that will generate over $1.5 million in revenue by Trexx in the Q2 of 2025. And we are ahead to have big publishers global in our ecosystem and esports teams of LATAM. We believe in the power of great partnerships to create strong business and solve real people challenge in everywhere. We believe with Visa we can do the next step. To make this a reality, we propose to Visa join with us in a payment structure for unbanked and gamers to provide game assets as collateral, facilitating the history, scoring, and credit assignment in a prepaid card for microcredit operations. In this way, Visa have the knowledge about the young people before they are investors. With the data collect, we can provide the plug-and-play model for AI-ready companies and Visa partners to offer unique financial products according to user behavior. Together, we can save money for publishers, bring the new generation of investors, and include the bank in the traditional financial system. Noah changing his life with Trexx. Our mission now with Visa is change the other million people's lives in everywhere. Thank you, and I invite you to join us in this journey.
Wonderful job. All right, we're back at the top. So Hassan, over to you.
Thank you, great presentation. I'd just like to clarify, what's your partnership with banks right now? Could you just expand on that a little bit more as to how you're working with banks and what data are you giving to them? So can you tell me a little bit more about how you're working with banks? Yes, and what kind of information are you sharing, and then what kind of products are they potentially offering to your clients?
Now we can talk with some banks in Brazil to provide this score. It's like a bureau, but it's an alternative bureau because we use in-game intelligence and on-chain data of different digital wallets, different platforms, and aggregators. We are a bureau for the banks, but alternative bureau. With our intelligence, you can understand how the profile of the users. Oh, this user is most traditional in investments. Oh, he prefers some new things. It's most in this way that we work with banks, and we can provide these products for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Bianca.
Thank you so much. So my question is really about, do you plan to stay within the blockchain-based gaming world, or do you plan to expand to AAA games? And if you plan to stay in blockchain-based gaming world, what's your conviction in terms of the growth of those games and adoption over time?
Thanks. It's a good question because when you talk about the blockchain, the people think in blockchain-based games. But we do the other way. We start with traditional publishers. I do not talk about the publishers, but we have two big publishers. Just in Brazil, have 12 million people that use it. Our idea is use these publishers with the assets of these publishers, but with our technology that we lock these items with the blockchain, but it's not the blockchain based to provide them. It's a blockchain based games, but not blockchain games. It's our focus.
I see. So in terms of how you're thinking about publishers, you really need to focus on the stickiness of them, and you're starting with those based in Brazil. Will you expand, or?
Exactly. A joke. We have a limited money, and we start in the place that we have a lot of knowledge. And our idea is just Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, Colombia, big countries when you talk about the games, and expand in the first moment on the South Global and go to Europe, USA. But our idea is begin in the emerging economies that have this approach with the games industry.
Got it. Thank you.
Awesome. And Rodney, you'll probably have our last.
How you doing? You did a good job. So
thank you.
I would love to know, what are your thoughts on your toughest challenge that you believe you're going to face as you grow? And I want you to also tell me a little bit about your vision, ultimately.
Okay, I think the challenge is create this strong structure, work in this interaction. It's an intersection. Game, financials, and technology, it's really difficult to explain, and the people don't understand. And we talk about the unbanked. It's our big vision. The people have money with games. It's our big vision. It's a journey to explain for them how we can use the platform, how can use the financial system to bring that. I think it's our big challenge. Explain them and the technology stuff, cybersecurity. Yeah.
All right, wonderful job. Big round of applause for Elo and Trexx. And you judges aren't asking the easiest questions. My goodness. But they're great questions, obviously. Keep them coming. All right, we are now at our, wow, this is our fifth and final finalist today. And we'll have Jake Vukovic of FlyCode, failed payment recovery for companies that sell subscriptions.
Hey everyone, my name is Jake Vukovic, and I'm the co-founder of FlyCode. What an amazing lineup of competitors here today. Today I'm going to talk to you about how FlyCode helps merchants accept more payments and make more money. And let's be honest, who doesn't want that? I'm sure everyone's received an email just like this. Your payment failed. Please fix this. This was actually an email that we received because one of our payments failed to one of our vendors. We weren't even aware we had this issue. We were waiting on a card to show up in the mail and honestly didn't even see this email. A few days later, our subscription was canceled and we lost access to a core service for our website. It wasn't until I received an email from one of our potential customers that they couldn't sign up. Not a great look for us. But this is what every merchant does. They rely on very basic strategies of retrying every few days, sending a couple of emails, and honestly hoping for the best until they cancel your subscription. So we reached out to this merchant and explained, we have a smarter way for you to do this. A few weeks later, they started working with us, and now we're saving them thousands of dollars every single month. But this isn't just an exclusive issue to them. This actually impacts every subscription business. And this industry and market has already surpassed $1 trillion, and every single day, over $1 billion is lost due to failed payments. So we saw the opportunity to turn failed payments into revenue for merchants. FlyCode puts failed payment recovery on autopilot. We handle every single retry and all of the customer communications. We do this by treating each customer and their payments individually. And we take into account hundreds of data points into our models to train our AI agents. And those agents then determine the optimal time to retry a payment, as well as when to communicate with a customer. And timing is critical for this. Our customers and their customers are global. So if we take a customer in the UK, for example, who has insufficient funds using a Visa debit card, our agents would do things like determine the optimal time based on where they're banking, or determine when they're most likely to have sufficient funds in their account, such as around payroll schedules. And if we do need to communicate to them, to do it in their local time, in their local language, and different channels via email and SMS. And the impact is powerful. On average, we're increasing recovery rates by over 20%, and this is revenue to the bottom line. But this also impacts other key KPIs like LTV, customer acquisition costs, and your churn rates. We've integrated with Stripe and Shopify to support B2B and B2C SaaS companies, as well as D2C subscription brands. In the first 12 months, we've grown by 20% or more each month and expect to be profitable by the end of the year. Our pricing model is a SaaS fee based off recovered revenue. Almost 60% of the payment volume is actually Visa cards for our merchants. So by partnering with Visa and using resources like their BIN API, we can get more data about customers, understanding who they're banking with, and enrich our models with more reliable data to make better decisions. This will help us improve our acceptance rates, meaning if a customer pays with Visa, merchants make more money. It will also allow us to combat fraud and help reduce chargebacks, which will improve overall payment health for these merchants. In other words, how an issuer views a merchant from a risk standpoint. As we continue to use their resources, we can also continue to reduce interchange fees and scheme fees for these merchants. With FlyCode, we started with failed payment recovery, but our vision is to deploy revenue optimization agents throughout a payments journey that work together. While it's becoming much easier for merchants to add more sophisticated capabilities like multiple payment service providers, it requires that they have the internal expertise to actually build out that business logic and maintain it internally. With FlyCode, our vision is to be able to provide this revenue optimization day one all the way from the authorization level and down and make it a plug-and-play product. So by partnering with Visa, we see a very bright future for merchants, where not only we can deploy best-in-class payments AI, but we can help to ensure that Visa cards have the highest success rate and are the most cost-effective payment method. If anybody's interested in learning more about how FlyCode works and how we help merchants make more money and keep their customers happy, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Great job, Jake. And I'm sure you're the definition of last but certainly not least. Way to round us out. All right, kicking off our final round of Q&A, let's have Talia. You go first.
Okay. Hi, Jake. So involuntary churn in completed orders is double, in some cases triple in Latin and South America compared to North America. How do you plan to scale your solutions for successful retry, reacquire, and recover successful transactions for failed payments, failed transaction payments?
Yeah, so today we support merchants all over the globe and their customers globally as well, but there are certainly certain regions where there's nuances to the predominant payment methods. So I'll take Brazil as a good example, where Pix is a very popular payment method. And so in those cases, we have to be very particular about the level of support that we're providing based on the nuances of those payment methods, where a customer may have to be involved in the loop. So if there are failures and churn is a problem for those merchants, we work closely with them. And today we do have support for merchants in Brazil and really rely heavily on the communication side of our product to determine when should we be speaking to a customer and reaching out to them so that they know that they actually need to go take action, which is very critical for these merchants who are really relying on basic methods to get their customers to do that today.
John, I'll have you go next.
Okay. All right. Well, I received one of those emails this morning, so good job fishing me before coming to the judging panel. I really liked, I'll give you a little bit of a hard time about going over on time, but I really liked you talking about metrics like LTV and CAC in terms of the value delivering for your customers and not just your company. So nice job on that. The business model that you're sharing savings, I wonder about your point of view on the durability there and whether or not your customers might not develop some of these capabilities on their own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the business priorities that the customers have are complex and ever-changing. And so for them, I think when we look at this as a SaaS product versus taking a cut of their payment volume, it allows this to scale with them without being too expensive. And as we look at the growth of our product, it's really about expanding not just from payment recovery, but to other points within the payments journey. And this intelligence layer for them becomes very valuable instead of them having to spend months, if not years, building out what would be basic rules that they continue to iteratively add on top of each other. So it's quite a bit of value for the ROI that we provide.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Rodrigo, you have a quick question and a quick answer.
Yeah, no, I think for my case, what exactly you would expect from Visa? I think when you think about the partnership and the interaction with us,
mm-hmm.
how do you see that happening?
Yeah, so I think that the first layer is just leveraging the existing resources that you have, more from the API standpoint, which we can do today. But beyond that, I look at it more as a strategic partnership where you have CyberSource, and that seems like a very prime opportunity for us to begin to work closer together to understand how your merchants are using CyberSource today and how we can better equip them with the tools that they need to be more efficient from a revenue optimization standpoint, whether it's authorization rates, improving that for companies that have global presence, as well as being more cost effective when it's about routing to different areas as more of a complementary service rather than any replacement to their existing infrastructure.
Wonderful. Everybody, please give a big round of applause for Jake and FlyCode. All right, now it is the audience time to go to work, as it's now time to vote for your audience favorite. If you are in the room with me, you can scan this QR code, and those of you at home, you should see the same QR code on your screens. When voting starts, you only have 2 minutes to vote. You can only vote once, unfortunately, and then also your vote will only be counted during this 2-minute time period. So voting will start right now. Awesome. Judges, y'all can. Oh, and another big round of applause for our judges. They're gonna go pick a winner. complete. I really hope you got those votes in. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a special talent to entertain you guys while the judges deliberate, but we do have Jen Walter, who is the NFL's first female coach and now a motivational speaker. Please give a big round of applause for Jen.
Oh my goodness. That was like more of like a golf clap than a football clap. So I'm just gonna rewind that and I'll give you guys another shot, okay? All right, so how y'all doing? How was that? That was amazing. These founders are out here on a limb. That is tough, right? And I am telling you what, if I could tell you something about my career that we have in common, it would be this. I was told everything I should and couldn't and wouldn't do. I can tell you not one person ever looked at me as a 5'2" female and said, you'll be one of the best female football players in the world one day. I can also tell you that a lot of my life was characterized by like, where's the football coach? I'm her. No, like the coach. Yeah. Right? Perception and reality are often so very far apart. And when I think about the difference between perception and reality, I think about some of the words that I've been called all my life. And one of them would be, what was this called again? Disrupt. Right? Think about disruption. Okay, think about a female in the sport that has been called the final frontier for women in sports, right? I am a disruptor. All entrepreneurs are inherently disruptors. Everybody in this room is because you look at the status quo and you think, yeah, we can do better, right? And the crazy thing about that is every time you think that you can disrupt the status quo, heaven forbid, what do you hear? Oh my gosh, that's crazy, right? How many of you have been crazy? Called crazy? Oh my gosh, I've been called crazy so many times that I don't think I'm doing enough if they don't think I'm insane. There is a reason why we talk about the fine line between brilliance and insanity. How many of you have woken up on a day-to-day basis and not known which side of that line you were on? Right? That is what the journey is. That is what the vision is. But the good thing is this, and I can tell you, I've had it my whole career. Every single thing that we ever do has been impossible until it isn't. Right? Just think about that. Every big idea somebody struggled with at some point and said, ugh, that's crazy. There's no way that can't happen. And then once it's done, oh goodness, it cannot be undone. Once that bell is rung, it cannot be unrung. Once it is seen, it cannot be unseen. And the beautiful thing is, once you see it and you can't unsee it, then it gives us permission to dream bigger, right? I think the hardest thing for me in football is that I couldn't look at the sidelines and say I want to be her. That is the really tough thing about being first, right? First inherently means only. So people always ask, who was your mentor? I didn't have one. What made you think you could do this? I don't know, right? And that is the same journey that every entrepreneur goes on. Every disruptor goes on this belief, right? This insane moment where they go, you know what? I think I can do this, right? And when I think entrepreneur, I think of the word that I hear most often, the ones that are PG anyway, about myself, and that one is trailblazer. Okay, oh gosh, when we hear trailblazer and we say entrepreneur, people are like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, it's so this, right? They think it's this great thing, like you work for yourself. I'm like, oh, that means I work all the time, right? Because like when I go to ask my boss, I am my boss, so there's nobody that can answer that question for me and say it's okay to not do it, right? There's no undoing it because you're the one you answer to. Right? It's fundamentally lonely, right? Just like an entrepreneur is doing something that has never been done, guess what? A trailblazer is doing something that has never been done. So every time someone would say, well, where did you get your coaching style? I'm like, There was no one I could look at and say, I want to coach like her. That's where authenticity comes into place, right? As an entrepreneur, you have to be so dedicated to your vision and so clear that the crazy is like a badge of courage, right? That is like a badge of honor. You're like, darn right, it's crazy. I'm going to be crazy good. I'm going to be crazy dedicated. I'm going to be a crazy visionary. And I'm going to be crazy enough to bet on myself to do something, to believe that there is something better. That is also trailblazer. So I get a visceral reaction when people say, oh, she's a trailblazer. Have y'all ever seen a trail before it was blazed? Oh, it's so sexy. Oh, it's the woods, okay? It's the woods. You can't see the forest for the trees, you know that? You cannot see through it, but you gotta go through it. Okay, so I hear trailblazer, I think every branch to the face that I've ever taken. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh yeah, that one hurt. I'm gonna go under this one. I'm gonna go around this. Oh, payment doesn't process this way. Oh, games don't get paid out. All of the things that all of these founders were ever saying, that's a trailblazer. She can't do this because girls don't do this. Boys only do this. Blah, blah, blah. Under this, over this, step through this. You cut down a bunch of branches. You are not pretty. You're not polished. It's certainly not perfect. And then this funny thing happens. The very next person goes, oh my gosh, what a pretty trail. They skippity-doo-dah through the neighborhood, and they never realized just how hard it was to be first. Just how bold it was to be first. Just how lonely it was to believe in yourself enough to step away from the comfort zone, to be the disruptor. Right? The comfort zone is comfortable for a reason. The comfort zone to me is like a hammock by the beach. I'm a beach girl. I came from Vero Beach, Florida. Right? It's a hammock by the beach. I'm chilling. There's a slight breeze. I'm right here. I've got a frozen margarita. I'm a tequila girl when asked, okay? And someone comes. That's the status quo, right? And then someone comes, flips the hammock, spills the drink, and knocks the status quo right out of place. There's a reason why people are not neutral when it comes to disruption. Because you are the one who's displacing the status quo. How exciting is that? Now, it is funny for me to be on stage when Visa is giving away so much money for these people they believe in, because guess what? Guess what a woman in football looked like for me? I still remember the first check I ever made for playing women's pro football. Now, I call it pro because we could not afford the professional, okay? We did not have that big a budget. It was my 4th season playing. We went 12-0. I got a ring and a check for $12. It was literally $1 a game. And I'm going to age myself a little bit. When I got that check, it was the most important check that I'd ever gotten, because this was the fine line between paying to play and actually being able to say that you were a pro. Again, not professional. We couldn't afford that. That's not a big enough check for the professional. Okay? We need a few more zeros to afford all those letters. Okay? But I remember looking at that check and realizing that this is what I was playing for. I was playing to play the game forward so that the next generation of girl would not have to do what I did. The next generation of girl wouldn't look at America's game and wonder why she didn't have a place. To wonder why the game that stole Sundays from the church and found its way into so many Thanksgivings and holidays was the only place in a space that in America's game she couldn't play. That there was no place for her on that field, in that field of play. Never made sense to me. But that check, right, this was before photo deposit, I had a conscious choice that day, which was to cash it or keep it. And I kept it as a reminder for what I was playing for. So on every day, when I was to this, when I was to that, when I was everything I couldn't, shouldn't, and wouldn't be, I would look at it as a reminder and think, this is what changes the game. This is that trail that needs to be blazed so that the next girl won't do what I did when offered my first coaching job, which was instinctively say, no, girls don't do that. I would not have coached football to this day if, and this was before the Cardinals, if that man hadn't looked at me and said, not a lot of guys are going to give you this opportunity, you're taking this job. And I said no, and I hung up on him. And the next day he called me back and he said, you remember how I told you not a lot of guys were going to give you this job? And I said, yeah. And he said, good. I took it for you. You're coaching for me. And by the way, you can't quit. Otherwise, the entire narrative surrounding women coaching in men's pro football will be, we had a girl once and she quit. Trailblazing and entrepreneurship are seeing something that no one else has seen. And then when it's been done and it can't be undone, everybody looks back and says, of course we should have done that. Now, I'm going to ask you to remember the introduction that you gave me, not the one that we did before that, but the second one, the one that we got really loud and really rowdy about. Because every single person who stepped foot on this stage, whether it be a judge or one of the contestants, has bet on themselves throughout their entire career. And this is a big money day. This is a big partnership day. This changes people's lives today. And they need to know, from the person who doesn't win to the one who absolutely knocks it out of the park and is the first place, that you are with them on their journey, and you will be really loud and proud that they are crazy enough to say yes to being a disruptor, to being an entrepreneur, and abso-freaking-lutely changing the game. Thank you so much for having me.
Great job.
Thanks, baby.
Wow. Another round of applause for Jen, please. I mean, extremely relevant for today. Well, it is the big money time now. It is now time to announce our winners. We'll start by announcing our audience favorite winner, who will be receiving $20,000. And with that to announce, I'll bring back up Rodrigo and Bianca. Come on stage, guys.
Hello, everyone. So first of all, I wanted to thank you and congratulate all the participants here. It was fantastic energy, super nice presentations, right on point, solving real-life problems. So we are here to announce the favorite, the audience favorite. And Bianca, please, can you tell us the winner?
Yes, the audience favorite award goes to Rashid from GamerG.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you for everyone who voted for us. And yeah, just thank you again.
Thank you so much. All right, you guys can actually stand over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rashid. And also, he was the first to go, so he definitely set the tone for today. So another round of applause for him. Okay, now this is the moment we've all been waiting for, in which we get to announce the overall winner, who will be receiving $100,000. So with that, I would like to invite Claudia Lagunas, Global Lead of the Visa Everywhere Initiative. She is the boss lady and makes all this happen every year, as well as Hassan Kazmi.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for cheering my startups. They are amazing. As Rodrigo said, they were selected from like over 1,300 startups over the world, over 120 countries. So thank you so much for supporting the startups community. But we have a winner, and Hassan, over to you. It was very difficult for them, I must say.
Yes, a very competitive event. So the 2024 Visa Everywhere Initiative finalist winner is Jake from FlyCode.
There he is.
Congratulations.
happy to participate in this. Everyone we competed against was amazing. They all deserve this. So thank you very much, and thank you to Visa and all the judges.
Thank you.
Thank you. But wait. That is not all. We actually have a special announcement from one of our other judges, John Jones, who is our Vice President and Head of Global Startups at AWS.
Hassan.
$5,000 for you in Activate credits, as well as we were all back judging, so impressed by all the participants. We'll also be awarding each participant $10,000 in Activate credits, so you get to hold this too.
Awesome. All right, and with that actually concludes our entire competition, so I want to send a huge thanks to obviously Claudia. Thank you to the audience for being here. Big thank you to the Kite team, all of the production team in the room, and we will see you guys. We'll see you guys again next year. All right. Can I get all the startups for a photo? Can I get all the startups to the stage for a photo, please? And judges?